Hi guys, it has been such a really long time since the last time we meet each other, right? How are you guys, by the way?
Yeah, though, I don't even remember when was the last time we met, like, seriously. I'm good, by the way, Shai. Been living my life the way I wanted it to be.
I'm fine too, Shai. Oh, guys, I'm currently attending my band party, so pardon for any beautiful sound that might we have come, okay? By the way, what are we going to talk about today?
What else, guys? We need to finish our assignment. So what about Ottoman Empire?
Huh? I'm sorry, Pak, what did you say? Ultraman?
Shai, no! Okay, not Ultraman. Have you ever heard about Osmana is a love?
Yeah, no, Shai. It's the family topic during our SPM years. Have you forgotten or something?
Come on, dude, you're so funny. But jokes aside, the Ottoman Empire dates back to 1299, where Osman I's dream established a formal government and expanded their territory under Osman I, Orhan I, Murad I, and Bayezid I in the Battle of Ankara in the year 1402. Bayezid I was defeated and imprisoned by Timur from the Timurid Empire, bringing chaos to the empire. A 12-year Ottoman interregnum occurred. Bayezid's sons fought for the rule over the empire. One of his sons, Mehmed I, became the sole leader and united the empire. And then, the son of Murad II, Mehmed II, which is also known as Sultan Muhammad al-Fatih, conquered Constantinople on May 29, 1453, in which it ended the 1,000-year reign of the Byzantine Empire. The name was changed to Istanbul and became the center of trade and culture. Selim I defeated the Mamluk Empire in Egypt in 1517 and took the title of the Caliph of Islam. Then, between 1520 and 1566, the Ottoman Empire reached its peak during the rule of Sulaiman the Magnificent, or also known as Sulaiman al-Qanuni. Great power, stability, and wealth, in which he also created a uniform law system. Starting from the 17th century, the empire began to decline, began losing dominance over Europe, and this is when Europe began its Renaissance and Industrial Revolution. In 1683, the Ottomans were defeated in the Battle of Vienna, a major defeat that marked their weakness. Although declining, they did not attempt to modernize the empire. He abolished the Janissary, began to enforce modernization policies. His son, Abdulmajid I, began the Tanzimat reform, which reformed the military by taking inspiration from Europe. But the information could not stop the empire from continuing decline and losing territories. On which, to the next part, Abdul Hamid II reigned from 1876 to 1909. The last sultan who was able to have absolute power over his reign. He then continued the modernization of the empire, built the Hijaz Railway, reformed education, he organized the Ministry of Justice, built telegraph systems, in which he was deposed from the throne in 1909. That was his last year. The sultans who came after him did not have absolute power. Every governing decision was made by the Committee of Union and Progress, CUP. Therefore, after their defeat in World War I, the empire was dismantled. Ottoman Empire officially ended in 1922 when the title of the Ottoman Sultan was eliminated. Mehmed V was deposed and left Istanbul in British warship HMS Malaya to Malta. Hence, Turkey was declared a republic in 1923 and founded by Mustafa Kemal Atatürk.
Wow, there we go, Pak E the historian.
Wow, such a great taste in slides though, Pak E. All the graphics that you use are also privy to the ancient time elements that you add. Nice work, Pak E.
To be honest, I just put anything that I think is suitable for my points. But thank you anyway.
Oh, now it all makes sense why we are not familiar with it. And no wonder why Shai we say it as an Ultraman.
Yeah, though. I think I've heard the name before.
Like I said, people, this topic has been covered during our SPM day.
By the way, Daya, since we are here on this topic, what's so great about the Ottoman Empire that makes you even remember our SPM years?
Yeah, I don't like SPM year.
Exactly, not gonna lie, it was a very hectic year for me, to be honest.
Okay, I got it, people. But this is just because they are significant. Because on the legal aspect, Sulaiman is known for the Sulaiman Court or lawyers in Ottoman. The main law of the empire is Shariah. The Sultan has no power to change the law of Islam. Other law known as Kanun depends on the needs of Sulaiman itself and covers crime, land ownership and taxation. Sultan released legislation that didn't contradict with Islamic policy. The law also protects all people's life, property and honor, regardless of religion or race. The legislation also illustrates the openness of the Ottoman Turkish government as Islamic sovereignty encourages protecting the rights and welfare of its people regardless of race and religion. Next, for the political aspect, they have the excellent administrative training system because in the Ottoman Turkish government, it created a training system that naming the Sultan son as LW, which is district governor, including Shahzada, which is prince of kings. The experience of running Shahzada is used to teach the future sultan. They are exposed to efficient areas of region, revenue collection methods, defense, and military features, and the management of the people concerned, including legal and welfare issues. As a result, the practice succeeds in proceeding some wise, efficient, and capable government. There was also a period on which there was a development of military and weapons. One of their achievements was the Janissary, which is elite army system, which became the Ottoman Turkish government main military force to expand its territory. The Ottoman Turkish government developed explosive technology by importing huge cannons and advanced mass weapons and produced a great navy. Modern weaponry and a powerful fleet helped the Ottoman Turkish government win a critical conflict and expand its territory. Ottoman Turkey had one of Europe's strongest navies. Last but not least, we look into the social aspect. There was a development of intellectual activity. The Ottoman Turkish government contributed to the development of geography, astronomy, mathematics, and physics in the West. For example, Khatib Sardi was a great geographer and he wrote a book named Sihanuma. The advancement of geography, astronomy, mathematics, and physics during the glory of the Ottoman Turkish government shows that the government not only focused on political and government development, but it also emphasized the intellectual development.
Daya, now I remember. When you said about the Sulaiman as the lawyer of Ottoman, right?
Now her brain starts working.
Huh? What did you say?
I never Banchai. What were you saying?
So I was saying that there was a significant effort brought by Sulaiman, the lawyer of the Ottoman, right? So in which the codification of Islamic law. Codification means that laws are being compiled and recorded, emerge and become a written statute. So there were several types of law that were being carried out, and this included the compilation of laws, compilation of fiqh and compilation of fatwa. So under compilation of law, this referred to the compilation of Islamic law itself with Kanun law. So Kanun law, like the one that Daya had mentioned, was legislated by the Sulaiman too. Before the existence of Kanun law, the people were using Islamic law as their daily basis. But nonetheless, as the times come, Shariah law cannot accommodate some matters, for example, like the taxation relating to the property. So hence, the Kanun law was legislated. But however, as the time passed by, the volume of Kanun law increased, and that's where the Shariah law developed. As Sulaiman the Magnificent took the initiative to codify by compiling both Shariah law and Kanun law. His purpose was to balance hukum Shariah and Kanun, and thus setting less power upon the executive officers and simultaneously widen the power of Qadi to continue with the implementation of Shariah law. Shariah law also developed as the compilation of fiqh was carried out by the scholar, and there were several kitab of fiqh that were used by the people, for example like Al-Mutun, Shuru and Al-Hawashi. But nevertheless, those kitab are are dependent on one to another, and it needs a cross-refer method for one to understand it. Therefore, the scholars compiled all three and simplified them in more plain languages so that the public could understand the message directly. So the name of kitab was Al-Muwafakat. Also, there was a successful effort of compiling the fatwas issues, and Kutub al-Fatwa was the proof. So this kitab had been codified as the emergence of fatwa that were being issued by the scholars. Therefore, we can see, right, that the Shariah law has been greatly developed during this empire.
Yeah, everything that Shai has said just now is true. However, there's also another importance on the development of Shariah law during that time. It was the reform of Taqlid and also Ijtihad. The Britannica Encyclopedia defines Taqlid as relying solely on the four mazhabs, namely Shafi'i, Maliki, Hanbali and Hanafi, without comprehending the reasoning behind the hukum and fiqh that these scholars gave. As the concept of Taqlid has gained increasing support among religious intellectuals, the ordinary man has been encouraged to align himself with the scholars of a certain group. For example, they blindly follow an imam's order no matter how much they may disagree with them, rather than analysing the opinions of other experts and willing to accept the one that appeals to their intellectual the most. This period is significant for the development of Sharia law in the Ottoman Empire as well as for the development of Muslim knowledge, since individuals who lived during this time depended only on the fiqh and hukum taught in the four mazhabs previously mentioned. After Taqlid was implemented, it left little possibility for ijtihad and originality. They reject the concept of ijtihad as a result of their excessive reliance on the teachings of previous mazhab scholars. As a result, all of the hukum and fiqh that were used at that time were membuta tuli or wholly relied on the mazhabs without being aware of the genuine foundations of Islam on any given subject. And because there were no latest hukum of fiqh developed on the present topic, this might have a very negative impact on the growth of Sharia law under the Ottoman Empire. Hence, all scholars would likely to depend either entirely on the fundamental theory put forth by the four mazhabs or on the fiqh or hukum that was being made by the previous scholars. However, throughout the Ottoman Empire, reformers who were primarily scholars made an effort to really change the Taqlid and Ijtihad by allowing greater room for its implementation and not only relying exclusively on the mazhabs. This intends to develop more hukum and fiqh on contemporary issues as well as to curb fanatism towards the four mazhabs. Unfortunately, the attempts to reform Ijtihad and Taqlid had failed since they were rejected, which led to the continuation of fanatism towards the four mazhabs.
Sad to see such a glorious empire to meet its end.
Yes, true. It is indeed heartbreaking to see such glorious empire had come to an end. Are you guys aware that our country has this element coming from the Ottoman Empire?
Really?
Yes. Evidence of Ottoman Turkish inside of Malay population was established between 9,800 and 1,900 throughout the Ottoman Turkish interaction with Malay leaders. This diplomatic relationship can be seen when the Sultan of Abu Bakar visited Istanbul in 1979 and 1993 to meet with Sultan Abdul Hamid II. Ottoman Turkish and Sultan Abu Bakar served as a diplomatic link. The royal center, creative writer in the Malay world who are close to their writing with events in Ottoman Turkish. For example, Merong Mahawangsa, the Asli Story, the Tambul War, the story of Al-Maulana, Sultan Istanbul, Hang Tuah, and many more. In conclusion, the Ottoman Turkish Islamic government has been very close to the people of the Malay world for hundreds of years.
I see. I was just about to say that we don't have any baklava in Malaysia.
Oh, the one that is filled with chopped nuts and topped with syrup or honey, right?
Yes. Have you tried that?
Shy, there's so many locals selling them now. #internet.
Gosh, fine.
So we have come to the end, right?
Yes, of course. But let me correct, Daya. You have mistaken when Sultan Abu Bakar visited Istanbul. It was in 1879 and 1893. But yes, we are done.
Alright, thank you, buddy.
Alright. Thank you for listening to our podcast.
Also called podcast.